Hi, my name is Jason Perez, and this is my journey to losing 200 pounds.
Look me in my eyes, I'ma win. I'ma get this money, I'ma live. First in my family with some legal bread. Had to risk it all just to win big. I can stack them hundreds to the roof. I ain't stopping till they stack to the moon. Without me, my family wouldn't have food. Anybody go against me gotta lose. 90s baby, but I get to that money like 86 again. Lost pops and fell off, we back rich again. Gotta thank God for that prison bid. Music got us looking like the family selling bricks again. Been on tour, been on TV, own businesses. Still pull up on you with that stick and flip the whip you in. You don't wanna hear about indictments in the case, I caught them. Quit listening, free my Mar, he innocent. I was in the county indigent, not my pendant lit. Love me, they go crazy about that real. Used to be a young follower, I was ignorant.
At my heaviest, I was 410 pounds. It took a while. It took a lot of time, trial and fail, and eventually I stuck to it and really conquered my goals and did what I needed to do. At my lightest, I was 210 pounds, so that means I lost 200 pounds, and I put 15 pounds back on, so I'm 225 pounds. But I did that kind of on purpose. When I was 210 pounds, I got addicted to seeing the number go down on the scale, and I didn't feel good. I noticed that I was sluggish. I wasn't putting weight up in the gym like I liked, and so I brought my weight up a little bit. With all lean meat and just eating clean, and kind of put some lean size on. So now I'm 225 pounds. I still go to the gym regularly, about 6 days a week, and this is my journey. I want to, start off, bring you guys back to when I was a little kid. Like kindergarten, first grade, second grade. I was actually a pretty little kid. I was thin. I was always hyper. I was always running around, active outside, and kind of never sat down. I stayed pretty thin. I realized when I hit like third, fourth grade, I saw my dad. I grew up with my dad was a little overweight, and I saw my dad. He was always at the dinner table having a big steak, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, whatever it was. He wouldn't just have like one steak, he'd have two. And obviously as a little kid, everybody wants to be like their dad. So I said, is that what I have to do to be like my dad? So I started eating. And at, third, fourth grade, I started trying to down food as much as I can, and I remember it. And as time got on, it obviously gets easier, and just kept eating, and I got, I guess, addicted to food, if you want to say. I didn't really notice it, I guess, until I hit like 7th grade, and I was way bigger than everybody, and I always was like nervous to go to the doctor, nervous to talk about weight, and you'd have like little checkups in the nursing at school, and I'd have to weigh myself, and that was the worst thing ever. Everyone would come back to class and say, oh, I was there whatever weight, and I was always 40, 50 pounds heavier than everybody, and I didn't know why. So, I'd go back home and keep eating, not really care about it. I stayed pretty active, I guess. I just put weight on really easy. So, middle school came up, and, I wasn't too big, but I was definitely, getting a lot bigger and fast. I think middle school was kind of the point where I started getting extremely big, and then freshman year came, and I was kind of very anxious and just kind of nervous about going into freshman year, looking the way I did, but it was never enough for me to really want to change. I always would just go back to my house and eat some more food and not care. I guess with my friend group and everything, I kind of just fit in as the bigger kid. I was always like known as like the strong one or the bigger kid, and picking everything up and trying to act like I was some strong man or something. And then time went on, and sophomore year came, I got a little bigger, and then my summer of sophomore year, I actually met my girlfriend, and I was decently big, definitely. I was probably like in the 300s junior year, and I definitely noticed, I definitely knew I was overweight, and I just didn't really care. I guess I started getting more comfortable with it. I fit in. I was always pretty popular. I had a lot of friends, and it didn't really cause too much of a problem. Senior year came, that was when I got really big. I was probably like 380, and then I graduated, I went to work, And I actually had a point where I wanted to get into a company where I'm a heavy equipment operator, and I wanted to get into work for this company, and they wouldn't hire me because of my size. And it definitely hit me kind of hard, and realized that, that's going to hold me back in life, and that's something I need to change. It took me a little bit before I actually changed. That was probably about 2.5 years ago when that happened. It sucked. It was a horrible feeling, but I can't blame anybody but myself, I guess. So, with clothing, that was definitely a difficult subject. I hated going clothes shopping. That was the worst part of it. Clothes shopping with pants, my biggest was 54, and I dare you to go to Walmart or anywhere, any clothes store, and try and find 54-inch jeans. Impossible. Shirt, I was a 4X, so again, really hard to find. Now in pants, I'm a 36, and a shirt, I'm a large. So definitely a big change. It's beautiful to be able to walk into a store, any store, and be able to find jeans, shirts, anything. It's great. I love it. So definitely can have some style, I guess. Back in the day when I was big, I feel like I just had like a small little range of clothes I could get. Whether I liked it or not, it was as long as they fit me, that's what I got. So definitely pretty cool to be able to go and pick whatever I want. When I was big, being big comes with a lot of challenges. I had a trampoline when I was really little. I actually grew out of it. I got too big for it, so I couldn't go on the trampoline anymore. My friends wanted to go to amusement parks. There were some rides I couldn't go on because I was too big. There was just a lot of things I couldn't do. I felt very anxious about doing really anything, whether it was sitting in a chair at school, or riding a bike at my friend's house, or even hopping on a skateboard. I felt like I was going to break it. Now I feel like I can do anything. My girlfriend has a trampoline at her house. I jump on it all the time. I know. I learned how to do a backflip, front flip. I'm always on it. It's fun. Big thing when I was little and into high school, I used to ride dirt bikes and quads all the time. I grew up in the woods. So big thing was always being in the woods, running around, climbing trees. My friends would climb trees, build tree forts, everything. I could never climb a tree. I was big into dirt bikes and riding dirt bikes. If you guys ever rode dirt bikes before, being big and riding a dirt bike is extremely hard, especially through the trails. And I find myself sometimes just not being able to move enough, or being too big and falling, and sometimes even hurting myself. But I would still do it. But now being lighter and how I am, I can move a lot better. I'm more agile, and it's a lot better. And a lot of people don't realize it's not just health problems that you run into when you're overweight. It's real life problems. And I worked construction my whole life. I'm a heavy equipment operator again. So growing up, my dad, he owned an excavating company. So from a really young age, I would always help him at the job. And I noticed as time went on, as I got bigger and bigger, it was just so hard, especially being out in a summer day when it's 100 degrees out, shoveling stone or doing whatever I'm doing. I felt like I was going to die. I'm still in construction now. I work for a different company, and over the weight loss transformation, I've been with the company, and just from the beginning when I was big, working for the company, and working for the company now at the weight I am, it's such a huge difference. There's so many things. Even when I jump in a machine, I'd have to put the arms down to operate, and there are some times where I felt like I couldn't because I was just too big. I couldn't close my legs enough, or I wouldn't fit in the seat. It wouldn't be comfortable. Now I go into anything and I'm comfortable. Even, I don't fly too much, but when I did go on vacation and I'd go on a plane seat, I would always be nervous about making sure I could fit in it. Going to a movie theater even, I always felt like when I was big, I'd sit down and one side would be hitting the armrest, the other side would be hitting the armrest, and I'm trying to suck in and hold my breath the whole time because I didn't want to seem like I was uncomfortable. So, definitely well worth it. Whoever's out there trying to lose weight or thinking about it, it's a world's difference. And, eating McDonald's or overeating at night or whatever it is that you do, because I did all of it. And it's not worth it. When I was big, I had asthma. Breathing, very hard. I listen to videos of myself now, and I sound like I was always about to die. I don't know. It just sounds like I was always fighting for air. It really scares me to see myself like that, honestly. To look at old pictures and videos and listen to myself, I couldn't breathe. You know, I had asthma really bad. Like I said, I grew up in the woods, so me and my girlfriend, we'd always like to go on hikes, and taking my inhaler wouldn't even help. I feel like, 5 steps in, I'd be out of breath. When I was younger, I was born with a back problem, and being overweight obviously doesn't help having a back problem. So, in middle school, I pulled my back out really bad, and there was a good 4 months where it was hard to walk. My back would hurt. I had to walk around with a cane for a little bit, and anybody knows when you're in middle school, that's the last thing you want to do. So everything hurt. I mean, my knees, my ankles, everything. I try and run. Obviously, I was a kid. I'm still a kid. Everybody wants to run around with their friends and do things, whatever it is. Play soccer. I mean, I played rugby in high school, and running hurt so bad. I remember being able to run down the field once. First of all, I'd be out of breath, felt like I was going to pass out, my lungs would hurt, and it just killed. But my legs, my calves, my knees, everything would just kill. I remember I'd wake up the next morning from a day of work or a day playing rugby, and my ankles, I couldn't even move them. They were just in pain. And I realized that, after I lost weight, and after I lost probably the first 100 pounds, I was a huge difference. I'd wake up, I'd jump up, and I'd say, wow, that doesn't hurt anymore. Or whatever it is, nothing really, I'm not saying I don't have pain, obviously, I did some damage, I guess, but I definitely don't have anywhere near as much pain as I used to. I go to the gym, I run, I jump, everything, and I don't have the pain at all like I used to. So it's definitely another great thing that comes along with losing weight. Driving a car, it was aggravating. I remember, I always had trucks, and even in my trucks, I had big trucks, and I jumped in them, and even jumping in was a pain. But once I'd get in, I'd shut the door, I'd have to shuffle over and try and find a spot that was comfortable, and I'd put the seat as far back as it could go, and my stomach would still probably touch the steering wheel about an inch from it. There was times where I couldn't even fit in a car. I remember my friend, he had a sports car and it had bucket seats, and I wanted to sit in it, and when I got in, the bucket seats were too small for me. I just couldn't fit. I mean, I went on the ride still, but it was completely uncomfortable, definitely not safe. A couple years back, my brother actually had a dune buggy. It was a street legal dune buggy, and I don't know if any of you have been in dune buggies before, but they were very small, and he used to let me drive it once in a while. It was almost impossible for me to get in and out. I'd have to try and lift my leg over the side of it. It was probably 3 feet off the ground, and lifting my leg was hard. And just getting in it, and my stomach would be right against the steering wheel, and the whole ride I'd have to be pushing up against the steering wheel trying to keep my stomach away so I could just steer down the road. Now, I mean, I could jump in anything. I jump in any car, Miatas, even a smart car. I drove a Fiat, everything. Little cars don't really bother me anymore. It's actually kind of fun. Summer, obviously everyone looks forward to summer. I still did. There were definitely a lot of challenges. I lived by a lake, a pretty big lake, and everybody used to, wakeboard, jet ski, water ski, tube, everything. I remember one time I went out on my friend's boat. He had a brand new skiing boat, and he was big into wakeboarding. And I remember, I always wanted to do it, but I never said anything. I always kind of stayed back because I was scared I was going to break the rope. And I remember one time I went out, and they all said, "Oh, you should go in the water. You know, we think you can get up." And I said, "No way." I said, "I'm not going in the water. I'll break the rope. I guarantee you." And they said, "Oh no, it's fine. The rope's rated for 500 pounds, whatever it is. You'll be fine. Just go in, go in." So eventually they convinced me, and I went in the water. And I put the rope in my hand, and they went to go take off, and like I said, the rope snapped. And that definitely was not a good feeling, because they, I did say the rope was rated for 500 pounds. I know I wasn't 500 pounds, but pulling 400 pounds out of the water, I'm sure I passed 500 pounds. I mean, summer it was tough, but I still had fun. I definitely didn't like taking my shirt off at the beach or doing anything like that. I definitely didn't like taking my shirt off. I felt like everybody was staring at me. It was definitely pretty uncomfortable being 18, 19 years old and going down to the beach. And, everybody take their shirt off, whatever it is, jump in the water. And, I was always the big one in the group. And I'd take my shirt off and I always look around and people were looking at me, obviously. A kid 6 foot tall at 410 pounds, I was definitely pretty big. It was definitely awkward to take my shirt off. And another thing is, a beach by my house had a high dive and a diving board. And the high dive was rated, I think, for 250 pounds. Obviously I was more than that, so I couldn't go on it. And the low dive was rated for, I think, 300, and again, I couldn't go on it. So it was definitely sucked, because everybody's back flipping, front flipping off these high dives and low dives, and I just jumped off the dock. I definitely, I didn't like it, but, so now that I lost weight, I definitely look forward for summers now. I could jump off high dive, jump off the low dive, I could back flip, front flip, do whatever I want in the water. And one big thing is taking my shirt off. It's definitely a big win when I'm able to go to the beach and take my shirt off and feel confident and comfortable. I fell asleep at the beach the last time I went with no shirt on, and I got really bad sunburn. But definitely feels good to be able to do that. I decided to lose weight because actually about 2 years ago my father had 2 minor strokes. It was pretty scary. He was in the hospital for a couple of days, and definitely an eye-opener. He's not as big as me, not even close to as big as me, or when I was big. It's weird to say that, but when I was big, I was probably twice the size of him. He's a little shorter than me, but he had 2 minor strokes, and it was scary to see my father like that, and to see it actually affect him. He was overweight for a while, unhealthy. He didn't really care, and honestly still doesn't really care too much what he puts into his body. So I saw that and I said, I gotta stop, I gotta change, because I'm twice the size of him, and if him at this weight and his age, he's having these problems, I can only imagine what I'm gonna have, and how soon it'll happen. So that's really what, I guess, gave me a kick to start. And then once I started, I realized, little goals, I guess. Like, once I hit like 350, I started like seeing some results, and then I remember losing 100 pounds, and it was crazy. I was 310 pounds, and I thought that I was Mr. Slim and in shape and all this stuff. I mean, I look back at it now and I'm like, wow, that was big. But I remember hitting 310 pounds and feeling like I was on top of the world. I never in a million years thought I would ever get that thin again. I mean, I always used to set these small goals, I guess. So I remember at my biggest, obviously I was 410, and I said, alright, I'm going to get down to like 380 and I'll be fine. So I got down to 380 and I said, okay, I'm going to get down to like 345, there's no way I can get any thinner than that. And I hit 345 eventually, and I said, wow, this is crazy, I'm doing it. And then I remember my goal, I said, I'm going to lose 100 pounds, so that's 310 pounds. And I was 345 at the time, and I said, I got to do it. And I did it, and I hit the 310 pound mark, and I said, wow. I looked at pictures of myself and seeing old pictures, and I'd make a transformation picture, and I said, this is crazy, I don't need to lose any more weight, or, this is crazy. And then I stepped back for a second and say, alright, I'm 310 pounds still. I still got some room to grow, some room to, lose weight. So I set another goal. I said, all right, I'm gonna hit 280. And I remember I went down and hit 280. And I used to always set these little, I guess, barriers in my head. I don't know why I always did that, but I used to always tell myself, I guess to make myself feel better, that it was impossible for me to get below a certain weight. So, like I said at the start, I didn't think it was impossible to get below 380, and then it was 345, and then it was 310, then it was 280. And then I remember I was like, at 250, I feel like I'm going to look too thin. I didn't really feel like that. I just felt like it was too unrealistic to be able to lose 200 pounds. I always wanted to get to 210. I don't remember the last time I was 210. It was probably in 6th grade. Who knows? But I just felt like it was way too far out of reach to lose 200 pounds. No way I could do that. It was crazy. And then I remember I hit 250, and I said, if I hit 250, well, why can't I lose the extra 40 pounds? I'm doing it already. Why should I stop? And I kept going, and I did it. And it was definitely the best feeling in the world to say, look back and see how my mindset changed from, oh, I can't do it, I can't get past this point, and crushing that point, and doubling that. Some of my goals I look at and I was like, that's crazy that I would even think like that. I really feel like if you set your mind up and change your mindset and change the way of thinking, anybody can accomplish anything in life. Highly suggest just really work on yourself, really work on your mindset, really work on how you think about yourself before you start your journey, and then really attack it and stay confident. Confidence is a big thing. If you trust you can do something, then you can do it. That's really it. If you don't trust yourself and believing that you can do something, then you're your biggest enemy. You're your biggest obstacle. And I really learned that throughout this process with everything. And I look at that with everything in life, not just with weight loss, but with anything you do in life, whether it's business or anything. Believe in yourself. So I started going to the gym when I lost 100 pounds. I lost the first 100 pounds. I remember when I hit the 100-pound mark, I was actually in my girlfriend's garage, and she had a small little weight set. And I remember I picked the weight up, and I started doing curls. It was just a simple barbell with like 25 pounds on each side. And I started just doing curls. And I was curling, and she has a mirror in there. And when I curled up, I noticed I had a small little vein in my arm. And being 410 pounds, I was far from veins my whole life. And to see a vein, I freaked out. I was like, oh my God, I'm jacked. It's crazy. So, I started lifting weights, and I said, this feels really good. I should keep going. And I remember I signed up for the gym, I think a couple weeks later, and I started going. And then I remember I was talking to somebody, and they said it takes 21 days or 21 times to do something to create a habit. And I said, oh man. I always used to try and start the gym, and I'd go for a week and stop and never go again. And then I'd wait a couple months, and I'd go for a day and say, I'm going to go every day. And then I just wouldn't do it. And they said, all right, if I go for 21 days, I'll create a habit where I have to go every day. And I always wanted to go. I always wanted to stick to it and get in shape. Everybody does. So, that's what I did. I had a goal set that I'm going to go for 21 days straight. So I went for the first week, and I went consistently for 6 days in a row. Then I went for the second week, Monday through Saturday, again, 6 days in a row. And the third week, I did it again, and then I fell in love. And it's hard to explain unless you do it, but it's such a good outlet for me. No matter what it is, I'm stressed, I'm anxious, or I'm worried about tomorrow, or anything it is, I don't feel good. I go to the gym, and it just makes me feel better. It's just, it's really unexplainable. I love it. It's like my place of peace. I feel like, I feel like everybody goes to the gym for a reason, and everybody has their own reasons, but, we're all there for one reason. It's to look better and feel better, and I definitely do. I stopped going. I started going to Planet Fitness, and I feel like everybody's starter gym. And then I actually moved to a gym closer to where I live, and I actually got my own apartment 5 minutes from the gym, so it definitely works out great because I can go to the gym whenever I want. It's only 5 minutes away, and I can't make an excuse that it's too far now. So every day, that's what I look forward to. I'm watching videos every night, trying to see like new lifts or new techniques or what I could do. Hitting new PRs at the gym is definitely a good feeling. So I fell in love. That's really it. I love going to the gym. I definitely learned a lot of things throughout the process. So when I first started losing weight, obviously everybody thinks that they're just going to jump on a diet, lose the weight, and it's going to stay off. And I'm not going to lie, I thought like that for a little bit. And I didn't really stick to any diet. You know, growing up, when I was overweight growing up, and I definitely tried a couple different things. You know, whether it was Weight Watchers or Atkins or low carb diet or whatever it is, and then I really kind of just found what worked for me, I guess I want to say. At first, I counted my calories. That was really it. That was my trick to start. I cut my calories in half basically, and I started losing weight because, you know, that's what happens. But I cut my calories in half. I went from eating like probably 8,000 calories a day to like 3,000 to 4,000. One thing I learned, biggest thing, was I was really obsessed with the scale. I found myself weighing myself not just once but twice a day. I'd wake up in the morning and that was my first thing on my mind. I gotta get on the scale. I hope I lost weight. When I came home from work after sweating all day and going to the gym and whatever, I'd jump on the scale. Did I lose more weight? My life revolved around the scale for probably 6 months. That was my biggest worry. And if you know, it'd be heartbreaking to go on a weekend, go out with my girlfriend, go to dinner, eat something I wasn't supposed to, and I'd jump on the scale and I'd be a pound or 2 or 3 heavier, and I'd freak out. Oh, I can't eat, I don't want to eat. And that's the last thing you want to do. I realize now I more look at how I look and how I feel than what the number says on the scale. I mean, now that I'm building muscle and not really losing weight anymore, not focused on losing weight, muscle weighs more than fat, and I want to lose strictly body fat now, not muscle. I want to gain muscle, so I gotta realize that if I'm gaining muscle, I'm gonna gain weight. That was definitely something that was hard to learn and hard to get over. So I stopped going on the scale because if you think about it, if I gain 10 pounds of muscle but lose 5 pounds of fat, I still gained 5 pounds. But I can't tell that by just jumping on a scale, and the scale says I gained 5 pounds. So anybody's going to say, wow, you got heavier, you got maybe fatter, they'd say. So that's one thing I definitely learned. Don't focus on the scale. Don't focus on trying to make your life revolve around that scale and losing weight. You got to do something that's gonna work, that you're gonna stick with, that you like. Another thing I learned is it's okay to go out and it's okay to live. No one likes to just sit there and starve all day while their friends are out eating pizza, or you go bowling with somebody at night and they order chicken wings or whatever it is, or you want to go out with your friends on a Saturday night but you're not, and you can't have a beer or something. It's okay to live. I always say I'll make up for it tomorrow. I'm gonna live tonight, and tomorrow I'll go back on eating grilled chicken and whatever I eat throughout the day, and I'll be fine. And it's true. I mean, if I gain 4 pounds, I don't really care. Next week the 4 pounds will be gone and it'll be over with. It doesn't really matter. So you just gotta always make sure you live and relax and go out and still enjoy your life, because you only get one life. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram, Big J's Journey, and thanks again.